Hey everybody, today we're going to be talking about Kindle e-readers and why these are still relevant and why you probably need one. So the Kindle e-readers have been out for quite a while now, and what's cool about them is not only are they useful when it comes to reading books, but they also offer a lot of extra features nowadays that they didn't used to have. One of my favorite features is the fact that these are connected with GoodReads, one of the most amazing social media platforms for readers. You can keep track of your books, you can complete reading challenges, and you can even keep track of your notes and highlights. It's very easy to do, it's very easy to connect, and it's even offered on some of their most basic e-reader devices. Now, I own a basic Kindle e-reader, one of the cheapest models that they've made, and I also own the Kindle Oasis, one of the most expensive models that they've ever made. And I've got to say, I actually read more on this one because I don't have to worry about breaking it or losing it. If something were to happen to it, I wouldn't want anything to happen, but if something were to happen, I could easily just go and get another one because Amazon has these so affordably priced. And if you'd like a really good deal on one for yourself, be sure to check out the link down in the description because these things are very useful. I charge this up usually once every 2 to 3 weeks, and I can read consistently every single day for a period of time without having to worry about the battery. I've been reading on this one for about a week and a half and I still have 77% battery. That's amazing. I also love how over the years they've updated the interface to where it's touchscreen and it does a really good job of being responsive. As I scroll through my books here, you can see how quickly it's scrolling through them and showing you new titles, loading up covers. You can even click on title details for this and learn more about the book. You can find similar titles. The home page has gotten even better over the years, and I love it because not only does it have all of your books from your library, like your top choices up here, things you might want to read, but it also has Kindle Unlimited. If you're subscribed to that, some really good options there. Based on your reading, it gives you options that you may be interested in. If you're a Prime member, you already have access to a lot of free ebooks, magazines. That's included with Amazon Prime, but you can also do Kindle Unlimited if you'd like and have yet another subscription to where you get even more books. I personally have Prime Reading where I'm an Amazon Prime member, but I also buy a lot of the ebooks that I want because I find that the pricing on the ebooks for the Kindle is really good. It's not hard to find a good deal on a Kindle ebook. They have sales every single day on top titles, and some of your favorite authors you may even find are offering sales pretty regularly on their books to get you reading on your Kindle. I love the fact that I have my entire library on this device. Look how thin this is. It hardly weighs anything. It's substantial enough to where you feel like you're holding something, like a small novella, but it's not heavy enough to where it's going to get tiresome after reading for a long period of time. Now, you can get cases and different things for these, but again, the pricing on this is so good that I don't, this is the one device that I have that I don't actually stress over if I'm going to break it or if something's going to happen to it, even though I take it everywhere with me, because if something were to happen, I can get another one. And that's not something I want to make as an everyday purchase, going out and buying a Kindle every day, but they're so rugged and they hold up pretty well based on the materials that they're made out of. I don't think you've got to really worry about that. But in terms of affordability, these things are amazing. If you're getting ready for a vacation or a business trip or really just to take to work, you can charge this thing up once and you're probably good the entire length of your trip. These charge up really quickly too. About 2 weeks ago I was at work and I noticed that mine was on about 40%, which is still good for multiple days of reading based on the amount of time that I read per day. But I went ahead and I plugged it in and this thing was charged up in about 40 minutes, ready to go, back at 100%. It amazes me how quickly this thing charges. My favorite feature though is the fact that it tells you how much time you have left in a chapter. You can turn this off if that is annoying for you, but I love it because it helps me to budget my time as well as get through a lot of books. On top of that, it's also going to tell you how much time it'll take you to read a book. So you can tap on the title and it'll say this book is estimated to take you about 3 to 4 hours based on your reading speed. And how it does this is it calculates your reading speed without you having to do anything. You just read books like normal, and after you read a book, it now knows about how long it's going to take you to finish future books based on your reading speed, how much time you spend on each page. It's super smart, and this feature is packed into every single one of the Kindle e-readers that are available. So you don't have to buy like an upgraded version or the most expensive version. any Kindle e-reader you buy is going to have that feature. Now, if you want backlight and all those other different things, you might have to look at getting a more upgraded version of the Kindle e-reader, but the good news is there's one for every single person out there in every price point you can imagine. This is the basic one that doesn't even have the backlight, and I find that I don't necessarily need that backlight because I'm not really a nighttime reader, and if I do decide to read at night, I can just turn on a lamp and I'm good. Now, my Kindle Oasis has every feature you could possibly imagine built into it. It's a really cool device, but it was also a very expensive device, so I don't take it a lot of places. And so I find that I get more use out of this one. I almost wish that I had just gotten the basic model. And in the past, I've had the Paperwhite and all of those different things, but this one is the one that I've read the most books on, ironically. The cheapest model is the one that I've read the most of, so it really just depends on what you plan on using it for, but I love how lightweight this one is. I love the size of this one, and if you're worried about like the text being small or something like that, don't worry. You can adjust the text size on any ebook. The font, if you're not a fan of whatever font is in the book, you can adjust that. For me, that's one of the real reasons why I switched over to ebooks, because I would get so many print copies of books to read, and I'd open it up and I'd realize this font is terrible. Can I get through 300 pages of reading this font that is just hard on the eyes and not easy to read? It's jumbled together, really scrunched up. I decided that ultimately I can get more read and enjoy my books more if I read them on a Kindle e-reader. And yeah, there's a lot of e-readers out there, but I do recommend the Kindle because the library is probably the biggest in the world when it comes to ebooks. The sales are every day. They're very common to get good deals on your ebooks because Amazon is such a large company and everybody publishes on Amazon these days. I don't know a single bestseller that you're gonna find that's not on Amazon. It's not gonna happen. You can pre-order a book and at midnight of release day, you've got that book on your Kindle. You don't have to wait. If you're impatient, the Kindle is for sure gonna be the way to go. Now, I'm not gonna say that I don't occasionally enjoy a physical book. That is always a nice thing to go back to. But in terms of storage, before I switched over to reading on my Kindle, I had multiple crates. I'm not even exaggerating here, about 4 or 5 crates filled with books that a lot of times I didn't ever even get to read because they were just in storage basically. And it got to the point where I was referring more to my Kindle because I can see pretty clearly like what books are on my device and what I need to read. And then I could just pick one from that. Whereas I'm not going to every other day dig through a bunch of crates to find a book. And I know why I don't use bookshelves. I don't know. I prefer a very minimalist look. And so bookshelves also kind of offer that clutter that I'm not a huge fan of. And so 1, they're great for minimalism. 2, they're very portable. My entire library is on this thing. I also have where it's connected to GoodReads and keeps up with that stuff for me. There's so many benefits to a Kindle e-reader, and that has not changed. I think Kindle e-readers are more relevant than ever. More people are reading, more people have access to reading, and it's all because of little devices like this. Now, I do love the print industry, and I hope it continues. I hope that we always have print books for everyone who wants them. But as someone who reads both, you're not doing anything wrong by reading both print and ebook. In some situations, it's way more convenient to have an e-reader, to have an entire library in the palm of your hand than to have a stack of books. And sometimes you just really want a physical book to read. Either way, there's a place for this on everyone's bookshelf, in everybody's bag, and I really do think that Kindle e-readers are more relevant than ever. Why not get something where you can have entertainment with you wherever you're at, whenever you want it, and that's the Kindle e-reader. Be sure to check out my link down in the description for the absolute best price on one of these. Let me know in the comments what you think about e-readers in general, and if you have one, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the algorithm so that other people get to see this video, and it really helps the channel to grow. Subscribe if you haven't already, because you're welcome here, and I'll see you guys later.
So I'll never leave. It's easy